Hello again and welcome to cheekytek. Today I'm going to show you a how-to on back scenery, and this is the current back scenery that I use for my layout Old Oak Bridge. So I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to fade out and we'll get down to our back scenery. Today we're going to be showing you how I do my back scenery. Now it's going to be a little bit intense, so please bear with me and I'll try and edit this the best I can to make it not so boring. Obviously being painting, it's going to be a slow process. So the paints I'm going to be using is a Woodland Scenic Liquid Pigment Black, a Woodland Scenic Liquid Pigment White, and a blue acrylic, which you can get from Hobbycraft or any arts and crafts centres. It's just normal blue, just like I suppose like a royal blue in a sense. So that's the colours we'll be using today. We have our brushes, which are medium, and we have a blister packet from accessories that I'm going to keep to mix my paints in. So that's what we're going to do. So let's start off. Now you can probably see on the camera there is a back image on there. I've painted it over. I've done a rough, just some squiggly lines, and like I'm going to do now, but I just did it really rough. Let it dry and then I painted over it again, because what that actually does is it makes a little distant backdrop, whether it picks out or not doesn't matter, but also provides a key underneath for where I'm going and what I'm doing. So that's what I've done. I don't do it on all of them, but on this one I tried a new technique and it seems to work quite well, so trying to give you guys the best scope of how I get my back scenery. Okay, stop waffling, Gary, again. So we get our packet and we put some white in there, and put some white down that side, and then we're going to get some black. Now just a blob of black on this one. I'm just going to put a black up there for a bit. This is not so runny, this one, but that's fine. I only need a little bit. Now you want to, these will make a very warm grey, okay, which is not so cold colour, more reddish in a sense. That's because the opaque white. So just take a dab of that, and then we mix our grey. Now it's almost barely there, the grey, but it's there. You try not to go too dark at this stage, so you really need to be patient. Now the idea of this is just to create some, I've already drawn off my landscape, so this is where the grass actually comes down, so it grows up and down there from the existing scenery that will butt up to this one, and then there's this will be my landscape, my eye level in a sense, so I don't really want to go too far up above that. So try and keep things level and proportionate to what you've already done, otherwise you'll have big buildings here, small buildings the other side, and you'll think, oh, I've got to do it all over again. So what we do is get our grey, and I'm just checking that you're picking it up on the camera. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit double handling here today, so I'm just taking this grey. This grey is actually too dark, so I'm going to actually mix that back down again. I need that really light. Really light, even lighter than that. Okay, so it's white with a hint of grey. Okay, that's better, there's the colour. And then just take it back over there, create it will dry darker. Okay, you might see some underneath. And what you're doing is just laying an horizon. Right, so we've got a line. This is our line. It is very faint, but there's a line. Alright, that's the starting point. Now this is where it starts coming to life a little bit, and it's not technical, it is very simple. You just want to do odd shapes. You get your brush and just every now and again I should say, not every now and a little bit, just break up some shapes. Remember, your eyes this is going to be a focal point, so you're not actually going to pick out detail. You just want something to be in the background that you don't know what it is. So I'm just going to create some light grey shapes. It doesn't matter how big or small. Try and keep them a little bit square at the tops at times, and you want some triangle bits. Triangles and squares are your best friends at this point. Okay, it doesn't matter if you can see them or not, it's just the fact it's putting a layer on. Okay, let's bring that down there. And we're going to have a tower there, something like that. A block of flats. Remember, these are all in the distance, so you don't know what's there, but you're just guessing something is in the distance when you see something in front of it that will bring forward. I'll try not to make this too confusing. So that really is what you do. Start just going through, picking out shapes. Okay, now I'm just doing a few odd shapes there. That's just brush marks down, brush marks up and down. Let that go that way. That could be a building somewhere there that you don't know. Okay, and you should start seeing some sort of imagery there. I'm just going to break that up a little bit, break that up a little bit, break that up a little bit. And then you want something a little bit white. Try not to make it too big. Right, so these buildings need to be really small. Remember, these are in the distance. This is broken up scenery that you can't actually work out what it is. So if you actually look from a high building or search Google for images of street maps is good, because you can sort of look around London, look at some high buildings and then look down to see what the city scene would look like, and just give yourself some ideas of broken images in the background. So that's what we have got, and this is what we've achieved. So I'm going to leave that there, I think. Right, so you've done your light greys, you then start coming forward with your darker colours. So I'm just going to put them brushes down there. Doing a bit fingers and thumbs at the moment. So we want our palette, and then we go a little bit darker colour. So I'm now going to a darker grey. You can see the difference between what it was and what it is now. Okay, and you just bring some shapes in front of it. Okay, again, these are now start getting bigger. Okay, and I will go back and do definition on that. I just want them to dry a little bit, not too much, because while it's wet, it is your best friend, as it will help you mix in. You don't need to paint all the way down here, because you either can do grass or your retaining wall or whatever your building will hide all that. Now sometimes I do a blue next, and sometimes I leave the blue last. The rule of painting is light colours fading through to building up to the dark colours, but being your own creation, you can do whatever you like. So let's do that. If they're coming closer, make sure they're a bit sharper lines. I did another video like this the other day, and then I was waffling on for I think about 25 minutes, and then I realised I hadn't pressed record on the camera, so that wasn't too clever. So I've done these a couple of times now, but I suppose that's good practice. So to speed this up as fast as I can on these, but unfortunately it's just the mixing of the paint that's taking the time on this. But I was thinking, okay, that's do. I'll do for a minute. I'll come back, put some bit of white. So we're just gonna do a little something in there, just to accentuate that black. And some white. Like a tower. Now London is a lot of towers and high rises. Some of them date back to the 70s, 80s, but as obviously the world is changing, a lot of modern materials are developing the world, a lot of ironwork. But if you're painting from the sort of 70s, 80s and 90s, a lot of London scenery was brickwork or concrete, because concrete was the new thing then. So bought many years ago, but so there was a lot of brick building, concrete buildings around, high rises and stuff. So don't forget about them, because they are very important. Okay, add some white to that. You can see I'm just literally changing the colours as I paint. God, I wish I had a steady hand. There we go. Okay. And we can do a little, one of our famous cranes in there if we can do it. So we just get a little bit thick, give some white, and bring it down. And then we get the flat of the brush, and we just go across. Okay, doesn't matter if it's a little bit lumpy, because you can just bring out some detail underneath on top of it. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be a focal point. That's all it is. Okay, I'll take it up a little bit there, because we can't see the top of that, and we're going to bring that triangle a bit closer. So that's that. And I'll start putting some blues in there now to start bringing this closer, and then we're going to let it dry off, and then we'll do the grassy bit at the bottom. Okay, bring that around there, and we do choo choo. You can't beat painting on a Saturday morning with the trains going past. What more can you ask, huh? I sort of got away with it today because the wife's gone out shopping with the kids, so I have a free morning. I haven't even got the dog to worry about. She's got some patience and my wife to go out with me. But I guess that's why I love her, so here we go. Let me just blend that back in there. Okay. So I hope this is all giving you an idea of what we've got, what we're trying to achieve. I'm just going to go back a little bit more on the grey down this end. So just trying to get everything there to help you. Right. Just bring some white on top of that. Takes it down. Bring some white in there. Just getting a little bit more over eager now. More white. So when you've got that grey on, that white is struggling to push that colour through. So you just need to build it up bit by bit. Don't be scared of doing something and going back. The more time you put in this, the better it will become. So don't be shy, be brave, and I'm sure you'll achieve something that's fantastic. Remember, it doesn't matter how poor or good it looks, because you're not really going to study it so much. Your focal point is going to be on your railway, on your trains and your carriages and everything else. So that's where you need to sort of remember, this is just a backdrop, just to complement all the fantastic work that you've done in your designing of your railway. So bring some shadow in. Now again, we're going to lose this bit area. I'll put some blue in there. Just haven't got any colour on this one, so I'll bring that down there. You see how you just drag that over in front of it, and that could be sitting in front of that building. Put some dark in there. Bring it. And that, okay. A bit more black. Every now and again, just put something a little bit darker. Brings the focal point right to the front, sends all that lot back. There we go. Now just tidy this up. I'm going to do a little bit of blue in there. Some people paint blue in the far distance and then bring the greys forward. I have adopted a different technique, and I just do it this way because I just like it and it just works for me. So whether it's right or wrong doesn't really matter. The thing about painting is about enjoying what you're doing. Put a building in there. Paint's drying up, so I need a little bit more white. Put water in there, but white will do. So that's that. Nearly there, guys, don't panic. Bit black. So there we go, just create brush marks down to there. So I'll just do this bit here. I'm going to have a squarey bit there, and I'll paint some blue in there, and then that will mix all that in. Leave it there for a sec. Do some black there. I'll do a triangle. Something there, I don't know. Try not to do too many triangles, it gets a little bit boring after a while. Some are good. These houses are at different shapes. Bridges, wires, telegraph poles, all sorts of things. And if you're doing a railway scenery, you do engine sheds, signal boxes, signals, there's all that kind of thing that you could do. Okay, so that, I think I keep saying this, but I think that is pretty good. Okay, let's try and put a little bit more on there. You can see I'm just leaving the brush marks. The brush marks I'll bring in the background and the foreground together. It's just broken up. Right, so it's done that. Let's do a little bit blue. Let's not So we're using the same palette, just going to get this blue, and you're going to mix this kind of blue is what you want. Got that one. So I'm just going to put a blob of blue up there. You can see the blue, it dries a lot darker, so don't go too mad with the blue, otherwise you'll have blue everywhere. Tiny bit of blue and mix that in there. Keep it a nice lightish colour. So I've just added some of this blue. So I'll just show you what I've done on this bit. Bring that in there. Okay, let's just bring that. Okay, so now I'm going to do some grass. I was going to use oils, but I'm now going to use acrylics, and I've got yellow, green, ochre, yellow ochre, black and white. So these are the colours I'm going to use. Again, so I'm just going to use these. Okay, so that's this will paint our grassy bit at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to grab this brush here and do some just add some definition in the background. It's got some big old bristles. Okay, so I've reverted back to oils. So these are now oil paints. So I'm now using these Reeves oil paints again from Hobbycraft. The reason why I'm using oils because I can get a better effect on them with the fan brush, which I'm now using this fan brush. So you can get more of a leafy effect. So I'm just bringing these colours together now. Now I just want so a bit of yellow ochre in there, a bit more green, some darker green. I want my bushes to sit like that. Try not to move the board, it's hard to. So I've used a mixture of acrylics and oils. Now I'm just putting a base layer in, and then this will then change. This is the back of the bushes, remember. Acrylic's not a good fan of mixing in with the oils, so really should let your paints dry in between realistically. I haven't had time to do that, so I just have to literally keep going. I'm sure we'll get there in the end. Bit of yellow ochre, bring that down there. Right. Two different greens on the go there, which we just bring back in. Bring that down to there. Thinking board is moving like mad. I'm just dabbing two lots of different greens, and it's just picking up that yellow that's in the background there, spreading that, changing the colour. Making bushes and trees, these little fan brushes are really good for that. There we go. Let's get a bit Okay, I've just done a couple of more little touches to it. So that's what we've got. We've finished off our back scene. So just to recap, we did our light grey in acrylics, and we just dabbed the brush and then done some squares and some lines, and then we did some sort of lines up and made our little cranes and towers, and then I brought the grey forward, the darker grey, just added darker greys by building up on all these colours, and then done darker greys, triangles and squares, and then I put some blue in around the back there just to create different definitions of area, just to break them up a bit. So that's pretty much what I've done on the city. Again, that was all done in acrylics because it's easy to mix with water and blend in. I just added some accentuation marks with the black just to create shadows and just things that may be there, I don't know. And then with oil paints, I changed this to oil paints. I did start with acrylics, just put some acrylic down the bottom just to put a base layer, and then I've just built oils on top just to sort of bring this together. So I'll just show you how I do my bushes and trees. So you just sort of do darker colours first. You remember I had the brown brush like this one, and then I did the the stippling effect of all this around here with this brush, and then I started bringing it together with the fan brush by creating bushes and then just scooping that through, just to sort of show that it's the grass line. You remember, you do darker colours and then do your yellows and bring them forward, do them last, and then that will mix in, creating a more yellow on the front. So I wouldn't put black on there, I would do black in the background and then the yellows with the green and more yellow just to finish off, and then they will sit as if you're looking like a 3D dimension sort of thing, almost like you can go through the side of the bushes. So that's what I do, and that's it. I don't varnish it, I don't do anything with it now, I just leave it as is, and that's just a piece of back scenery. They can stick it onto the railway and we'll have a look what it looks like up with the rest of the scenery. So we now have the back scene dry and finished, and now up on the layout, and it butts up into the corner. My bushes are not the best bushes in the world, but they are purely just to represent colour behind an object. If you had glass that you wanted to see through, the idea is that you could see through and you'd see the greenery or the landscape behind. As mentioned in my video, I normally put a retaining wall or something up close. I think I'm going to do some houses on a hill there, but I've just put this up here like that just so you can see it breaks up the landscape. Your focal point's more here than there, it just shoots off into the distance. So I hope this video wasn't too boring and was in some way some guidance for you to give yourself a back scenery. Let me know how you get on, leave comments. I know this video is not for everyone, so I do appreciate that. Anyway, until next time, take care and happy modelling. Hello again, you're watching cheekytek. Today I'm going to show you a how-to on back scenery. This is currently the scenery that we do around the layout of Old Oak Bridge. So I'm just going to get on with it really. Focus. Hello again and welcome to cheekytek. Today I'm going to do a very quick how-to on back scenery. So there will be fast forwarding some points. Hello again, you're watching cheekytek. Today I'm going to do a very quick video. No, I'm not going to do a quick video.